Hi, I'm Tammy Walker, and today we're at the Central Washington Agriculture Museum to take a look at this old Ford pickup truck. This is all vehicles, great and small, and thanks for joining us. Okay, I don't have the year of this truck, but I will in the information section of this. So let's take a look at it and talk about what we do see. All right, we've got these big old round headlights with the chrome trim, these big, huge fenders. Now, this metal is stamped, and they use these giant machines to stamp this metal. And I'll show you that here, a little bit of information about it. This giant machine is a press stamping machine, and it makes these little pieces here. And when you're done pressing, they look like this.
You have a new cleat for your tractor.
And that machine makes cleats for these tractors. So imagine the size of this machine just to make those small little pieces. And that's what they had for the large trucks. So they didn't want to spend a lot of money in replacing these very often. So that's why we have series of trucks and other vehicles.
The machine isn't strong enough to stamp the new cleats for the bulldozer shoes without first heating them in the forge before placing them in the stamper.
All right, I don't know if this is the original front bumper. Was that garbage? We've got this nice big grill, and you can see here we have that crank start. If you've been watching the video series, we talk about you put the crank bar in there, the start bar, and it would go into a pulley and fit in there, and you'd give it a half a turn. Some of them you would turn it just to get the fuel into the cylinders, and then you'd give it a quick turn to start it.
This one's also interesting because it has a space in the radiator that the crank handle goes clear through the radiator to the pulley.
That's very interesting. Thanks for
It
pointing
is.
that out. It looks like some of these grill bars have been broken. And we'll open this hood up in a minute and take a look inside. Hopefully we can. Here you got the front license plate. In Washington State, you have to display the front and back license plates. All right, we've got this nice vent system here coming in. And yep, it has one of those old vents on top. We'll find the handle for that a little bit later and show you.
I like those fresh air scoops. Those
Yeah,
are cool.
my old Willie's had one. Or Willis, as I found out it is called. And we got another one of these split rims. This looks very similar to, I mean, there is differences, but it has some similarity to the military rim on this side over here. All right. Nice and big inside of there. Come back. And see, a lot of times I do think these are aftermarket mirrors because we got some holes here for what the original mirrors were up here. And a lot of times these were just used by farmers for their fields. So they put mirrors on here that they would need to see around, especially when they put structures like this onto the truck. All right, this one coming here, this has the little keyhole. Now this is a 1940s, early 40s, but once again, I'll have that information in our historical section. So this should twist and turn for the keyhole, but it's kind of stuck. And you can just open that up. And we've got our fuel uh, cap here. There's a little metal bar in there. Interesting. All right. And someone built a flatbed on the back of this. Let's take a look down here. Jeff, do you think this is a four-wheel drive?
This would not be a four-wheel drive.
No, but this is a dually. And you can see here, we've got our frame, leaf springs. Nice big rear end coming across. Now, a lot of people always like, well, the rear end is this, that, and the other. A lot of times when I'm doing the information on these trucks, it doesn't tell me that. So if you want to leave that information in the comments, we would appreciate it. And I'm sure a lot of other people would too. Let's take a look at this back rim here. Yep. And of course, the mud flaps, which are required in Washington State. Come down, take a look under here. Got some old bullet tail lights or marker lights hidden away. Some lights back here, some reflectors. And then just the back end of the truck really ends about right here. And you can see over here, there's an old style light. That's pretty cool. It has an offset rear end too. It's very interesting. Pick up this. This was donated to the museum in 1999. I believe the museum was founded in 1979. Just come back around this side. I want to talk real quick about this split window. I love these split window designs, and the Dodge next to us also has the split window, so you can tell that these are definitely in the 40s and not the 50s. We've got the vacuum operated windshield wipers. There's one missing here. And it looks like they put some bars across the top just for structural reasons. And we'll go inside. All right. So there's no key lock. Oh, I have to get on the other side? Okay. All right. Well, there's no key lock on this. So you would have to get in on the other side, which I'm about to do. Let's take a look at these hinges. This hinge is broken, isn't it? That's probably why this door doesn't open. Huh?
Looks like somebody had welded a mirror onto it at some point.
Oh,
And then
okay.
cut it back off.
Yeah, see this one too. Look like there's this extra piece that's been welded there. I'm gonna go take a look over here and see. It's not like that over here. They're perfect on this side. Well, okay. Well, here's the back window. And it's got this nice big bench seat in sections. Behind here, there's really nothing. There's not a space for anything. Underneath this could be the gas tank. I didn't see where the gas tank went. I kind of believe under the seat is the gas tank. Yep, there's the gas tank under the seat. All right, from here, we're just going to take a look. I can't really get inside. That's fine. We've got our dashboard here, and I'm sure there's speedometer stuff, but maybe I'll find something online and I can share it with you.
And I found a picture of the instrument cluster, what it would look like in here.
Here's the old board badge. All right, so this has three little knobs to choose from. This one kind of moves a little different. A glove box, which is missing. Here's our heater core. This assembly is a lot different. This is also a defroster. So your on and off switch is actually right there. Maybe this is part of that too. I don't know what this is. And then the knobs for turning on your windshield wipers would be one here and then one right there, but that one is missing. And I'm looking down. It's really hard to see. The gas pedal is that oval shape. The brake is the round, and the clutch is hidden underneath that piece of cloth right there. There we go. I don't see an ignition key or anything. Oh, here it is. Right on the steering column, there's a key. That's the key for this truck. I'm going to take that from you for just a second. And then a little switch up top. Now, Jeff, there's a some sort of shifter up against the wall right there. And it goes down to here. What do you think that's for?
This is an aftermarket fix to a broken shifter for some reason. So this is the 2-speed rear differential high-low shifter.
All right. And we got our shifter. It's got that little knob on it. And I'm going to guess that this is the brake. And we'll just take a look up over here and to the back.
It's like an old Flathead V8 for this Ford.
Flathead V8. You know, I was really shocked about how small an engine was in that military truck compared. All right. Jeff, I appreciate if you point out stuff in the engine today. That would be fun.
Generator, carburetor, fuel pump, fuel filter, breather vent, head, heater core, hookup, would have been there. This is a starter solenoid. Big old horn in this thing.
Wow.
These had a water pump for each side of the engine. These guys here. And this is your distributor.
Wow.
I've never seen a distributor like that before. That is weird. Battery box.
There's another battery box over here, too. Wow, this is so cool.
Oh. Oil filter.
So what's missing off of the top of the carburetor?
That would be an air cleaner that goes on here, probably an old oil bath type. The safety latch. This is your hood release here.
All right.
Really cool Art Deco style hood ornament.
This 1941 Ford pickup truck is a 1.5 ton and has that famous Ford Flathead V8 in it. The 1941 wasn't any different than the year before, had the same styling and design, including the freestanding headlights. And their truck designs were the same as their car designs. But what made 1941 unique is they brought back the straight six. And what I mean by brought back the straight six is Ford had produced the engine from 1906 to 1908 and then reintroduced it from 1941 to 2016. But luckily, our truck has the famous Flathead Ford V8, and we're going to talk about that. French engineer Leon Levavasseur invented the V8 in 1902. Luxury models were granted the V8s, the V12s, and the V16s. Cadillac V8 engines were noted as the first mass-produced V8, but it didn't take long for Ford to catch up. In 1922, Ford bought Cadillac's rival, Lincoln. At the time, Lincoln was manufacturing a Flathead V8 with fork and blade connecting rods, and Ford kept the engine till 1932. And in the 1930s, Ford wanted to develop a new V8, but Henry Ford stepped in for his last contribution to his company. He helped design the famous Ford Flathead V8, and it was released in 1932. The Flathead was cheaper to build by design because the use of 3 main bearings to support the crankshaft rather than 5 like the other V8s. The camshaft was mounted above the crankshaft. Ford had developed the crankshaft by applying new techniques such as heat treating to replace the Ford steel with cast steel. And this made a stronger and cheaper crankshaft. And the Ford V8 block, the monoblock design, was easily mass-produced because of Ford's advancement in material handling and production flow. And it was employees like Cast Iron Charlie, Charles E. Sorensen, that helped bring the V8 to the market. The 5 V8 displacements were the 221, which was made from 1932 to 1936, the Mercury 239, the 136, which was popular after World War II for midget race cars, and the 337, the largest displacement engine. Lincoln wasn't able to produce the V12 engine for its 1949 car model, so they used the 337. The Ford Flathead V8 was made from 1932 to 1953 in the U.S. for cars and trucks, and in Canada from 1932 to 1954. The cons to this engine was overheating. Where the valves were located caused the transfer of exhaust heat to the block, requiring more radiator capacity and more coolant. This was more prevalent on earlier models, but this engine was known to crack by overtaxing it, especially in racing and trucks. The first car model with the Ford V8 was the Model 18, a 1932 Ford, and it was referred to as the Ford V8. In 1939, Mercury released their version of the V8, the 239. And in 1953, this old Flathead V8 was replaced by the Ford and the Lincoln Y-Block V8. Hot rodders love this engine, but by the 1950s, to replace the parts started to become more expensive and other engines started to fall in favor for hot rodders. But over time, nostalgia wins and people love to put these back into their old vehicles. Licensed to other companies, such as Simca in France until 1961, Brazil until 1964 for cars, and until 1990 for the Simca military truck. And for a short time during World War II, the engine was in the first prototype of the Romanian Marisol tank destroyer, but it was too weak and replaced. A couple random facts. The land speed record for the Flathead V8 was 302.46 miles per hour. And by 1940, Ford had produced 28 million vehicles.
Please like and subscribe to our channel. It helps us grow and it lets us know that you like to see all these old trucks too. I don't see anybody else out here taking videos of these trucks, so at least we're here to bring this information to you, and we really appreciate it when you put down facts and information in the comments about these trucks because it really helps out a community of car lovers. Thanks for watching so much. This is All Vehicles Great and Small.